Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com. Earlier this year, the website Digital Photography School ran a survey asking their viewers what post-processing software they use. And probably to no one's surprise, Lightroom finished first and Photoshop finished second. But I was surprised to find that Luminar 4 finished third. And I got to thinking, why are so many people using Luminar 4? And then I really boiled it down to it really appeals to a broad range of photographers. If you're really new to photography and you don't know much about post-processing, Luminar 4 has a lot of tools that are super easy to use. On the other hand, if you're an advanced photographer, a professional for many years, Luminar 4 has a lot of advanced features that you would take advantage of. And of course, there's stuff for the photographer that's somewhere in the middle. So in this video, I want to talk about 4 different ways you could go about processing an image in Luminar 4. And you could roughly say that these 4 different ways may coincide with your experience, how experienced you are as a photographer. Now, the first way I think is a way that many beginners might use, and that is they'll use looks. So you could go up here and activate the looks panel down at the bottom, and then you could just hover over the look and you'll get an idea what your processed image would look like. And you could come in and you could just pick any of these that you like, and you could say, well, I like warm sunset, click on it, and you're done. And also the looks have a little slider here to, if it's a little too strong, you could just dial it down a little bit. So that is probably the easiest way to use Luminar 4 with looks. Now I'm just going to reset that. And by the way, if you want to reset an image with Luminar 4, the keyboard shortcut Shift-Command-R on a Mac or Shift-Control-R on a Mac will reset the image. So that's one way. You could use looks. The second way, and I think is also really easy, is you could use some of the AI tools that are in Luminar 4. For example, if we go to the Essentials tab and I go to AI Enhance, I could just take this AI Enhance slider to the right and the AI Sky Enhancer slider to the right and really get an image that looks pretty good. I could bring it further and go to AI Structure and add structure as well. And pretty much move 3 sliders and the image is just about done. So that is another way you could go about processing your image in Luminar 4. That is, use some of the AI tools that are built in. A third way is the way probably many of us do it, is we kind of forego looks and we don't use the AI tools that much. We'll come right in and we'll start moving sliders around, we'll bring highlights down, open up the shadows, add some contrast, get a white point, get a black point. Then we'll go down to color and we'll darken the sky, add some saturation, maybe brighten up some of the other areas in the image like that. And then we'll go back. Oops, what I forgot to do in color is you could add some saturation. So you come in and you just start moving around sliders. And there's all different things. There's tons of different adjustments you could do. I was just in the Essentials panel, but there is some adjustments in the Creative panel. You could add matte looks, dramatic looks, use a LUT, things like that. We're not doing a portrait now, but there's a whole set of portrait tools. Then there's professional tools as well. So you could come in here and let's say with a photo filter, and you could add maybe just a hint of some color in those clouds up there like that with the photo filter and stuff like that. So you have that group of photographers, and I think I probably am included in that group, where you're going to come in and do these types of adjustments on your own. You're not going to use any of the AI tools or any of the looks. Now I'm going to reset that again. Now there's a fourth type. Now the fourth type is really, I don't know if it's a type all by itself, but it could be any of the other 3 with adding something else to it. Meaning with Luminar 4, you could add things to your image that weren't in the scene to begin with. So if I didn't like the sky here, of course I could go to the Creative tab and go to AI Sky Replacement and add a new sky. I could add sun rays. I could add things to the sky like birds and things like that. if I felt that it needed the image. And why I say that any of the other three types of photographers could do this, well, obviously, I mean, if you are a pure beginner and you just use a look, let's say, and then you decide, well, I want to add something else to the sky. So you come in here and you go, I'm going to add a rainbow. And you could add a rainbow to it. Yeah, so obviously that wasn't there, in the original scene. Maybe you could bring the amount down a little bit so it doesn't look as strong. But you could add things that weren't there to begin with. And a lot of people like doing that. I know a lot of people hate when people do that, but still a lot of people like to do that. They like to replace the skies. They like to add things, birds, things to the scene. And Luminar 4 makes it real easy to do that. So that, I think, is a fourth type of photographer that really enjoys Luminar 4 for those reasons. So that's it. The 4 different types of photographers, I think, that use Luminar 4. I don't think it's just limited to those 4. I'm sure there's other ways of using Luminar 4 that I didn't talk about in this video. If there is something that you specifically do in Luminar 4, or a way you go about using Luminar 4, let me know in the comments below. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.